Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. Now, all of these coaching calls have been recorded with permission from my clients, and they have generously allowed me to share this with you as a means of furthering the good in this world and allowing you to have access to master level coaching and to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. So please listen in and learn.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm awesome.
I love that. I love how you answer the phone these days. You're like, there's like a giggle in your voice, right? There's this laughter of delight, like,
yeah.
oh, like I'm living the freaking delightful life. I love it.
Yeah. God damn it, I'm awesome.
That's so great. Yay. I'm very happy about that. I'm proud of you and happy and
Thank
congratulations.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Well, so this is a real challenge for me. This is like the challenge I think I have been waiting for a long time. There's so much going on here. I'm staying with my mom. She is slipping, but all of her patterns are still there. And it's even more so now because she's slipping. So she'll repeat them now over and over and over. So, I wouldn't care if it was just like, oh, did I put sugar in my coffee? But she now is directing them, all of her old patterns are just like full force right now. They're just full force right now. And it actually is giving me, it's really challenging me in ways that are sort of frustrating. And then at the same time, it gives me a lot of opportunities to do things differently, to sort of experiment with her. So, like, a perfect example is I'm on my way down to do the call. I'm sitting in my car, and then she starts obsessing about how you're not supposed to, by the way, my car's not running, but she's obsessing about how you're not supposed to run a car with the air conditioning on without driving it, and you're going to wreck the car. So she asked me last night what I'm going to do. I was preparing her. I was like, look, tomorrow at 8:30 I have this call, and I'm going to pop out. You won't even notice I'm gone, and it'll be fine. And so then this morning she wakes up, and the very first thing she says to me is like, I've been thinking about your call, and then she starts problem solving about what she's going to do with Rex, and where I'm going to be and where she's going to be and how she's going to help, but I can't. But I said, listen, Mom, I got it. I'm going to be down in my car. It's no problem. It'll just take about 10 or 15 minutes, no biggie. But she won't let it go. She just won't let it go. And she's like, well, yeah, I know, and then she starts laying it on kind of thick. She's like, well, I'm just concerned because, if you wreck your car, there's really nobody here to fix it. And I'm thinking, holy moly. And she's like, well, okay, if you, I'm just saying, you do your thing. I said, honestly, Mom, thank you. I appreciate what you're saying. I completely appreciate what you're saying. It's really not a problem. I'll be fine. But that doesn't work now. So that doesn't work because she'll either just say it again or she'll find some other way to say the same thing. But she's just trying to make it so that I do whatever it is that she has in mind, which, by the way, now is completely unreasonable. So she's, like I say, she's losing it. But her solution was to take Rex to a restaurant downtown. Mind you, she doesn't drive now. So she was, for a 10 to 15 minute call. So it's kind of getting out of hand. So, but it was like, it's almost like living, but it's all the old stuff. Like this is old stuff that she has. And I wouldn't care, but it's resonating with me. It's like all the old stuff, like you can't handle this, you're not good enough, you're like, don't run your car with the air conditioning on, I'm just saying, I just don't want you to be stuck here for the rest of your life because because you broke your car. This is what I'm hearing. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, stop, just stop.
Okay. So
Anyway,
first of all,
looking over my notes and thinking, okay, if you don't like the results that you're getting, change your approach. And anyway, I'm ready to listen now.
Okay, first, this is a beautiful experience, okay? It might be annoying and frustrating and all of that and triggery. And what's beautiful about this is that it's really highlighting the pattern that you grew up with and that is still running in your head subconsciously.
Yes.
Okay? Okay? And
Yeah.
even though she's loopy and she's in her 90s and it's a variation on it. It's almost, it's exaggerated so much at this point that it's like you can't miss it. Okay?
Yeah, it's almost comical, yeah.
Right. So then, so like appreciate that. And then how do we use this experience to benefit your growth and your ability to have self-ownership and do what you want to do in life and create the life you want and not be driven by someone else's fears and worries and doubts and anxieties. Okay? And we want to step back and see what this really is. Okay? This is her fears controlling her, and because she feels out of control with herself and her ability to, manage life, be resilient, right? She is like the image that's coming up is like throwing up all over you, right? Okay?
Yeah.
And she wants to control you as a means to having some sort of control in her life. And if you're triggered by the word control, use the word certainty. But really, it's control and it's manipulation. Maybe it's not coming from a malicious place, but it is what it is, okay? Right. And she's trying to create certainty in her life, and she does that through controlling other people.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And she wants to make sure, and it's a little bit more insidious than even that, because she wants to make sure she's demonstrating through her actions and her words, like we're not making this up, she wants to make sure that you have the same worries that she does, the same fears that she does. Because if she's alone in those fears and worries, she's wrong. Something's wrong with her.
Right.
Okay? If you are afraid and worried and anxious in the same way, she must not be dysfunctional. She must not have any limitations in terms of how she owns her life and moves through it. If you agree with the worry, she can calm down.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So she's demanding of you to be just like her in order for her to feel better. Not just to have certainty, right? But for her to feel better about her abilities, capacities, stance. She probably would never use these words, but in and of themselves, but like level of growth, development, self-ownership, freedom, personal resilience, personal responsibility, all of that, right? All these things that as human beings, we know intuitively are where we're going, right? What we want. We don't want to be infants in this world. We don't want to be that effect of fear around like the car going, the AC going bad, right? Like this is not anything that you have to be afraid of, okay? And yet, because she is stuck in that paradigm, she wants you to agree with her.
Yeah.
And you don't, and then the conflict becomes a little deeper.
Yeah.
There's a double bind there. She's my mom. How do I take care of her and disagree with her, right? How do I appreciate and respect her without buying into her worldview?
Yes, right.
How do I love her but not tolerate this?
Right.
Okay? And the double binds, just to say it in a different way, is like, I don't want to tolerate this, but if I am untolerable, then that I think that that's going to demonstrate that I don't love her, and that's a double bind.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Okay. So, what do you do next? Right? Okay. So now you see it for what it is, and there's layers. There's more layers to this, but for now, that's a big chunk for you to cogitate on.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. There's a challenge. If your mother wasn't 90 and looping somewhat because of her age and mental state, then the advice I would give you is you did fairly well in terms of clear boundaries, but you have to set even clearer boundaries, okay? Which would look like something, which would be something like you say it once to her. If she keeps going, it's, Mom, I'm not available to have this conversation. I thank you for your input. I've received it. I'm not available to have this conversation. If you keep talking, I will be leaving the room, and I want you to know that I love you. I'm here to spend time with you, and let's talk about X, Y, and Z. Okay?
Okay.
So that is sort of like the hard line approach. Notice that there's a feedback sandwich there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a hard line approach. And then, and we've worked on this before, then you do have to leave the room if she keeps up. Okay?
Yeah.
And there has to be consequences for someone not, doing things that you're unavailable for. You have to be okay with those consequences. Okay? If you're not okay with those consequences, then don't make the request. Okay? Because that's like telling your dog not to beg and then giving them treats from your plate. Right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Yeah. Okay? So make a clear decision of what you are and are not available for, and then stick with it. Now, the more subtle approach to how to handle this is like, you could call it deflection, you could just call it changing the subject. Like, give her something else to think about. Okay? Hey, what do you want for lunch today? Like, do you want to go to a restaurant for lunch today? Right? Like, whatever. Okay? And here's the thing. You can do it in a very benevolent way. You can do it in a way that's not talking down to her or diminishing of her, but is respectful of the fact that she's just looping on something. And if you give her something else to focus on, then, she'll channel her energy that way.
Okay.
So
that
what is your
very rational approach?
So here's the thing. Our rational mind is such a gift, okay? It's what got us out of the dark ages, okay? And yet it can be a gift or it can be a limitation. There's so much noise in the background. I apologize for that. It can be a gift or a limitation. In this case, we're using it as a gift. Like, we're stepping out of the emotional trigger because that's putting you into a loop of untruth, right? It's not who you are. So you have to use rational thinking. Okay, if this is happening, what do I need to do differently? What's the new cause that I need to put into effect? And use that as a means to stepping out of the emotional hook, the trigger, right? The old pattern, the childhood programming. That's how you break free that way. But you actually have to take the new action and experience the consequences.
Oh, right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's really hard to see her. It's really hard to see these things,
That's exactly right, Heather. I mean, that's the forest for the trees of doing this work on your own, right? Is like you're so in the program, you don't know that it's the program. That's like the movie The Matrix, right? You don't know you're in the program.
True.
But you are.
Okay.
So then, today, you practice this. And you be gentle with yourself, okay? So this is practice. Practice, not perfection. And ask yourself, who do you want to be in this situation? Like, what would kind and generous be that's not, I get controlled, right?
Yeah.
Okay? I put those value statements in, whatever your value statements are. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, this is so illuminating. I mean, I see like a dim little light. Like a dim little light. It's like, oh, okay, maybe this is one of the, I mean, not for nothing, maybe this is one of the reasons I haven't been able to be completely clear about who I really want to be, because at least in the presence of my mom, when I try to be that person, then, of course, I'm slipping away from her, so the first thing she does is she finds something to control me about. So
Correct.
the whole thing kind of gets snuffed out. If I can find a way, this is almost like a matter of life and death. If I can find a way, if I can figure out a way to be how I want to be and not kill her, because that's what my subconscious is telling me, then we can both be alive in the world together, and neither one of us needs to control or fight with the other one.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. Your little kid understands, well, and your adult too, that we want agency in this world. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And yet, we also knew as a child that our parents were providing us safety, food, shelter, belonging, tribe, comfort, love, all of that. Okay?
Yeah.
And there was a lot at risk if we did it our way. And now it's time to evolve. But you have to experience, I can evolve, she doesn't die, I don't die. Because your subconscious has that double bind.
Mm-hmm.
Your subconscious thinks, if I choose my own way, I'm going to lose love, safety, and belonging. And I'm going to die. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if I do it her way, I've lost all my agency in this world.
And I'm still dead.
And it's stopped.
Safe, but
right?
I don't get to live.
But I don't get to live, right? I don't get to have a full life. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it is a death, in a way.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you must break that double bind. It doesn't feel good.
No.
But you have to understand it intellectually. That's the rational mind. You have to take the new action based on that rational thought.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to experience the emotional discomfort of moving through your limited beliefs, your old programming, and the double bind.
Got it.
But that action piece is super important. Well, all three pieces are super important. But like if you just do the intellectual, rational bit, but you don't take the new action, nothing really changes.
I know. That I know.
Yes. And this happens so often, like when, I'm sure you get this in sales calls, when people are talking to you about how challenging their, relationship situation is, but they don't sign up to work with you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay? Like, nothing happens until you take that new action. You can't just talk a good game, right?
Yeah. Yep. I gotta do the thing.
Gotta do the thing.
I gotta do the thing.
Yep. Okay.
Well, this gives me a lot to go on. Thank you so much. Never in a million years would I have been able to see that by myself. Never. It's been a long life, and I have been struggling against this since I'm probably, a long time. Probably, I was going to say since I was 15, but it's much, much, much older than that even.
Yeah. No, this goes way, way back for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you know what? I passed the New Jersey bar, I passed the New York bar, and I'm going to pass this too.
I love it. That's awesome.
And we're all going to live. We're
totally.
all going to live.
Yep.
Okay.
Happily, too. Happily.
Happily ever
well, let me
after.
actually make a statement on that. Can I need to qualify what I just said.
Okay.
So you have to experience the results. Sometimes the result is the person gets pissed or angry or throws a fit or wants to excise you from the family, right? And never talk to you again, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you do this with a level of truth and without guilt and shame behind it, without finger pointing or blaming, but just clarity, like, I'm not available for this. This is not who I am. This is not how I want to live my life. These are boundaries, right? And you don't make the other person wrong energetically or with words, then most of the time, or you have a better chance of that person taking it in and understanding. Some people are so locked in their story and dysfunctional that despite you showing up with clarity and respect, they will take it personally and make it mean that you're making them wrong, and they won't be able to handle that, and they'll want to make you wrong instead, and they'll throw you out of the family, okay? Or they will do any number of other things, you know, gossiping and, you know, all the nasty things. So I just want you to know, like, it's not, that's why I said you take the action and you experience the results, okay? Because it's not, you can't control other people's behavior. It's only how you show up. But if you don't show up this way, you have no hope, right?
Right. Okay.
You're stuck in the no. You're stuck there, okay? You're stuck in the dysfunction. So showing up differently gives you a chance. Now, sometimes you have to show up differently 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, right? Before someone shows up, right? Or you have to evolve the way you're showing up, and there's an iterative process to it. Usually it just takes once if you're super clear. I think you're super clear, okay? But it doesn't, like, sometimes there's different behaviors, right? So you have to show up again and again.
I have to show up for myself again and again because I am an iterative process also. So it's possible for me to be clear, and then there's the insidiousness, and then I need to be clear for myself again, and then I need to be clear for myself again, so that I'm used to being clear. Because I've learned it's not like a light bulb. I have to clarify over and over and over again until it's not hard, until I see it, you know?
Correct.
So,
100%.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Let me know if you need anything today. You can just reach out. Okay.
Thank you, Amira.
You're so welcome.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Coaching Uncut. If you are loving what you are learning in these episodes, please do 2 things. Please share the love with another woman who you think could really benefit from this master level coaching. And second, if you're so inclined and you want to take your life and your business to the next level and it's time to scale, please reach out to us and schedule a consult at theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. So that's theunstoppablewoman.com/next level. See you in the next episode. Rock it out. Be unstoppable.